Hello everyone. In this video session, I'll be doing mini-tab activity titled Basic Graphs. The first thing you should be doing is to go to your D12 shell, click on Math 1530, Content, and then Mini-tab and Calculator Assignments, and then clicking on Activity 1 Basic Graphs. So when you open up this module, you will see two documents. One is a Word document titled Activity 1 Basic Graphs. The other is the Mini-tab file 1530 Student Data. Go ahead, download these two on your laptops or desktops. For downloading, click on this downward arrow and then click on Download. And the same for this Mini-tab file. So I have downloaded the two files onto my desktop. And so these are the two files, 1530 Student Data and Activity 1. Let's go ahead and double click on this 1530 Student Data. Now this is the Mini-tab file, and I'm doing this work on a Mac. Okay, so when you open up this Mini-tab file, you will see some columns, and we are going to be working on some of the problems here. At the same time, go ahead, also open up your Activity 1, the Word document, and you will get these questions over there. So I'm just going to go over some of them, give you the idea how to go about, and then you follow the directions and do the problems. Okay, so let's look at the first question here. It says, make a histogram of all the heights of the students in the class. Do this by clicking on Graph, Histogram, Simple. So just go ahead and follow the directions. Okay, so let's start here. So for this problem, we have to first click on Graph. Now remember, when you open up this Mini-tab file, on the very top of the menu bar, you will see Mini-tab file, edit data. So you have to go and click on Graph menu here, on the menu bar, the graph. Now, after that, click on Histogram. A small window opens up. Because it's only one value you're looking at the height, so you just go and look at one by variable, simple. Clicking on that, what happens is another window opens up, and you will have a cursor which is blinking in this small little window called y variable, and we are going to be looking at the heights of the students. So take your cursor here first of all on the C1, double click, and then you will notice it automatically is seen in this y variable window. So after that, just go ahead and click OK. And what you see is this little histogram graph here. Now notice, it's talking about heights. What we notice is that there's a height which is 420 inches. Now 420, guys, is a big number. It's too high, okay? So that means there's some kind of anomalies present in this data set. Okay, then let's go back and look at other numbers. Oh, 60, yes, that seems reasonable. Something more than 60, fine. But then you see 120. Around 120, that means more than 9 feet. Okay. And then at the same time, you see 0. A height in 0, that means something is not right. So when you look at this histogram, we say, oh yeah, something is not right. So that means we have to go ahead and look at the data set and see what are those anomalies present and remove that. Okay, now let me go back to the question and talk about some things here. So it says, when you select height, you save this histogram as an image and paste it below. So what you need to do is, now how do you save this histogram? if you are on the Mac, so you go ahead, take your cursor here, and then when you click on this graph of this histogram or the image here, you will see a downward arrow on the top right corner. Go ahead, click on this top right corner and you will see copy as picture. So go ahead, copy as picture, click on that, and then to wherever you have saved your activity, take your cursor beneath the save this histogram or wherever here, wherever you want, and then just go ahead and paste. You can say edit, paste. Automatically, the graph which we had, or the image we had of this histogram of height in inches is pasted here. Now you can squeeze it, small it in terms of the dimensions and whatever you guys want to do over here. It's fine. Okay, so we've done that part. And then, does this histogram seem reasonable? Now these are what are the explanations. That's what one of the questions you have to answer. Now the next question says, remove these strange data values. Now remember, we talked about here that when you look at this graph, something is not right. You're seeing 420 inches, seeing 0 inches, 120, and we talked about it that something is not right here. So let's go ahead and now work on removing those anomalies here. In order to do that, what you're going to do is we're going to go and click on data on the top menu bar here, and then go and click on sort. After that, a new window opens up and then you see a blinking cursor on the column. Now, whatever is the order, just let it be there. Now remember, we have to see what are the issues here, and that's the height has some anomalies here. So double click on this height and automatically it is shown on under the column. Now the next thing is you go to columns to sort. You don't want all columns to be sorted, only this column. That's what you're working with. Just the specified column, and then by default, because we had only that column, automatically this column comes up and there has height here. Now the next thing is, where would you like to store this new column? It says at the end of the worksheet. It would be better if you create a new worksheet and then just work with it, because remember the original worksheet has so many new columns. So to make our work just easier, we will create a new worksheet. Click on that little arrows and then click on new worksheet and name this worksheet, say corrected histogram. Okay, spelling yeah. Or you can name whatever you like. So then just do OK. Now notice what happens. When you do it, you automatically see the corrected histogram. Now let's go and focus more on this column which we have here. And notice, what are we seeing? We're seeing height in inches. No, sorry, height, which is in inches, but this 5 inches. Okay, that means when this data was taken, the person who was filling it up did not read the question correctly. They thought it was in feet. So that's basically kind of 5 feet. So we do not want all of that. We want to remove these these wrong heights. So what you're going to do, go ahead, click on the first one, then take your cursor down till you are able to remove all these things which don't make sense for us here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly move the vertical bar and see, okay, 520. So just one at a, so 5.4. Okay, so then go ahead and right click and delete the cells. Okay, so you still have some left. 5.4. Okay, so let's go ahead, do that way, and then use the highlight that, and then once again take the cursor where we need to remove. Okay, then we can still take it down. 19 inches now, that's too small. 30, yeah, too small, but let's remove this one. So 51 seems okay. So another way of doing it is you can go to edit, delete. So now we see starting height 51 inches. Yes, that makes sense to us. But remember there was a height here which was around 420. Oh, now that's no way possible. We know that. So that means that's because we sorted this height. So that means those values are going to be way, way down. Okay, let's go down. Okay, it's going to take some time. Okay, it's quite a data set here. Okay, here we see. Okay, we see 411, we see 118, that's around 9 feet. We see 86, 7 feet. Yeah, we have some tall people here. So 118 is, too high. So we don't want these values. So we are going to click on 118 and see some of them, some of them are empty. So anything which was not filled up is stored like a star in the mini tab. So just go ahead. So you click on 118 and then, so 118, click on shift and then take to the last cursor, which is 327, go to edit, delete. Now we have the appropriate number of students height over here, and it makes sense to us. Now we're going to go ahead and now make the graph of this heights, and a histogram of that. So histogram, simple, and make sure guys it is this corrected histogram we're only looking at, and only that is why only one height is being shown. So remember, whenever you're working on one worksheet, it will only take up the variables which are present in that. So by default, it's already there. We don't have to do anything. So when we do OK, now remember both of, if you notice, this has the same, title as the old one, and I want to make a little difference. So what we do is we go over here and we can make the changes and say, hey, this is the corrected height. Can write this one. This is the corrected histogram of height. This is how you can write it. So when you do it, automatically it's a corrected histogram, and we have it over here, and this looks like a nice little, almost like a bell-shaped curve. There's one little height which is very off, but most of the heights are within a nice little range. So go ahead. Once again, you have to save this image. So, click on the downward arrow here on the top right, and then click on copy as picture. When you do so, remember, you have opened up your activity. So you just go ahead and click on, under the question which says save this histogram as an image, edit, paste. So automatically this comes up, and then you can basically, using those these little arrows, you can, make it small, make it big, whatever way you're comfortable with. Okay, so then you describe the shape. Now let's look at it. It says talk about dot plots, and then it talks about other questions. So I'm going to show you how to do the dot plots here. So if you want to make the dot plots of the number of siblings, say a student has. So let's go ahead and click on now on the mini tab here. We go and click on graph and dot plot. Now, according to, so there are, dot plots, it says for the number of siblings. Now, in a Mac, what you have to do is you go and click on dot plot and click on multiple y variables. And it's the height we have. And we're just doing a very simple one. So we get these heights. And we're looking at the corrected histogram. Okay. Okay, so this was for the heights, but the question is for number of siblings. So let's go ahead, and now remember, as I had this worksheet opened up, so it would only give me one variable, but this question basically, if you notice, is based on the question on the original mini tab file, which was math 1530 student data. So we actually have to click on that. Okay, so that's good. We learned something to do how, but at the same time also we are learning that if we are, depending upon the question, we have to go to the correct worksheet. So let's go ahead and click math 1530. Now when we do this, we will be able to see the other variables also present. So go ahead, click on graph, dot plot. Now click on simple under the multiple y variables. And now remember, there are many of them available in this new window which opens up. Now we're looking at siblings. So when you look at this on variables which are present, you say, oh, this is the siblings you're looking. And by default, this was the old one which had popped up. So just delete that. And now go ahead, double click on siblings and do. Okay. So when you do the siblings, a simple one, this is what we get. Okay, now you can again save the file by clicking here, copy as picture, and and then paste it according to the instructions here. Now there's another way also we can do certain things if you want to. Let's go ahead and look at that. So if I do graph here, and if I do dot plot and I do simple, I'm going to show you something here. Okay, no, sorry. Yeah, so this is actually, okay, so I was going to do the next question. I forgot that. Let me first show you the next question, guys. So the next question is make a dot plot for the number of siblings the females have, and a dot plot for the number of siblings the males have. So we're going to do these here. What we're going to do is, and in order to do that, because basically we want it on two separate graphs, so instructions, because I'm doing it on the Mac, so I'm going to look at the for Mac one. So let's go ahead and follow these instructions. So for the Mac, once again, now remember this was dot plot of all the siblings, but according to the question, we want it separate, females and males separate here. That's based on the gender here. So graph, now you go click on dot plot, then you go to multiple y's, okay, now multiple y variables, and you have to click on groups displayed on the scale. That's how it will be done. So when you do this one, now the y variables, you will be writing the siblings, so siblings is here. Now the group variable, because the group is based on, it's based on gender here, so we're going to go back and you're going to do C3. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. That was siblings we wanted. I did that wrong. Okay, so that's right, siblings and gender. And just simply go ahead and click OK. Now, that shows us the females and the males here. Okay, and then go ahead and do the next question according to your dot plot. What is the approximate? You can do those ones. Okay, now let's go ahead and look at pie charts. It says make a pie chart of the gender variable and follow the instructions here. So let's go to graph, pie charts. Now you have to click on for a Mac, or even if it is the PC, it's the same. So count of unique values. What is it? Is the categorical. We're looking for the gender here. So when you see under the categorical variables, you will see this blinking cursor. So go ahead and click on C3 and just don't do anything else. And now if there are options, now if you want to really make much more better looking ones, you can click on options. It says you can do the label slices. Now this is, as I said, it's for the Mac. You can say category name, frequency, percent. You can do all that and do OK, and then just click OK. So you get all the information of the pie chart of the gender here. Okay, and then go ahead and do the rest of the questions. Then the next question talks about is making a bar chart of the housing status variable by gender. Okay, and then also I think the first question also asks you for the pie chart here is save this as the image, go ahead and follow all those instructions too. So going to the bar charts now. So let's again click on graph and bar chart. Now for the, when you're doing it in a Mac, you have to go and click on counts of unique values. Now the first one we would like to do is just one variable. And we are doing, remember, of the housing status. And then just click on, and this is being done by the gender here. Okay. And once again, you have options. If you want to look at the options, you can see you want data labels, transpose X. So I would say if you want Lex, you can do say, hey, let's look at data labels too. Okay. Okay. So it gives you the number of values, makes your life simple because it already tells you how many values are here. So once again, save this and put it, put it in your activity. And then the last question says, make a bar chart of the housing status variable by gender and students who are commuters or living in dorms. And you have to save this bar chart as an image and paste it once again below. So as I'm looking from the Mac part, so just go and follow the instructions for the Mac here. Go ahead and click on graph, then bar chart, as usual count of unique values. Now this time click on multiple variables, and in the categorical variables, click gender first, and then go ahead and click on commuters and dorm. And by default, it is clustered. Let it be like that. Don't even change anything. If you want to look at some options, we can do that too. You want data labels and default. So we can do OK. And then we do OK. And we have this. Now we have all the information which is given to us here. Okay. So go ahead, follow the directions and finish up your activity. Thank you.